On tonight's episode, we talk about Guy Ritchie's The Covenant.
And other pop culture news from the week. All right, we saw Guy Ritchie's The Covenant, starring Jake Gyllenhaal, among others. Super emotional, fantastic film.
Well, it's Guy Ritchie. The guy is a very competent, very talented director. And even the things that he does, let's see, even his last low end productions, and I'm not saying even some of the whatever he makes that people dislike are still way better than so much stuff out there.
For real.
Yeah, and this one, it's a very beautiful, very well done story about promises, about covenant, as the name remains. The trailer basically tells it's a trailer that gives away pretty much everything.
Yeah, the plot itself is pretty simple, but as you go through this plot, you get into like some really great, deeper things.
Yeah, and so the trailer gives away. It's like I don't think there's any surprise from what happens in the trailer.
No.
It's a story about interpreter, United States Army interpreter. He's a Afghani citizen that helped the American troops in Afghanistan, and he does that. And in the trailer reveals that, so there's no spoilers.
Yeah.
He reveals that he claims he's doing for money, but even in the trailer reveals that he's doing because his son was killed by the Taliban. So he helps the troops, and
he was promised it's not just a job, he's also promised visas for him and his family to come to the United States.
And all the Afghani volunteers, to risk their lives to interpret for American troops. They were promised by the Department of State of the United States of America, the United States of America and its government. They were promised a safe passage through a visa to come to the United States and leave their life of danger and persecution behind. So his son dies, he volunteers, and he helps the troops, and something goes wrong, and he's the sole survivor along with Jake Gyllenhaal's character, and against all odds, he rescues Jake Gyllenhaal, takes him home to the background air base, so he can go recover, and he can go home and take care of his family. But once he does that, the story becomes popular, and they become two legendary characters, and he has to hide because everybody's like, the Taliban's like, American heroes, a traitor among us. So his head goes in the list of most wanted for the Taliban. And so is the American soldier. But the American soldier, once he comes back, he remembers of all the struggle the Afghani man did to save his life, and so I have to go back. I have to go save him, and that's it. The movie is about that. But it's really well done. It's Guy Ritchie did something that American directors and American production companies for a while now they don't do it. For call it white guilt, call it shame. They will not try to make movies, with exception of Tom Cruise, but even his, there's the whole who is the enemy, so they very very overzealous, or even afraid of exposing the enemies, because the enemies are a specific ethnicity, a specific religion. So they don't touch that at all. They don't put America as bad, because even some of those liberals are ashamed of America and all that. And Guy Ritchie, the irony is he's British,
Yeah.
Most likely he's American now. He could be dual citizenship, like many other stars in Hollywood. But as a quote immigrant, he came in and made this movie about values of America, also exposing problems of America through the administration, to the bureaucracy, and to promises that were not fulfilled. Most especially the fact that the Biden administration gave up Afghanistan. They surrendered. They left, and there they left not only American citizens that they left behind enemy lines, but they left behind all those Afghani volunteers, men and women,
thousands of them,
that helped and were promised. They didn't to come here for free. They worked for it. Many of them sacrificed their lives, and it took Guy Ritchie to come and expose that. For I guess being on the outside, he might not have political.
Yeah, he maybe doesn't see the same political binary that most of us Americans have.
And he doesn't have a political side. He wants to tell a story, and it's an important story. Is a great story, and he was impartial or uninvolved on either side of the conflict. So he told the human aspect of the story, and he did really well, terrifically, and it's such a good movie.
It was fantastic. The title, so even though the plot is very simple, the title gives away what this film is really about. It's about promises and debts, and they talk about that explicitly throughout. The promises people make to each other, the debts they owe each other, the things that they do for each other because of their brotherhood, because of their humanity, whatever. And it's really impactful and beautiful on lots of different levels. Looking at the human level, just humans interacting with each other in human relationships, the story of this war in particular, of the U.S. war in Afghanistan, over the years, and what happened while we were there, and the way that we pulled out so terribly in 2021. There's a lot of different ways to look at it. And all that aside, the writing was fantastic. The actors did an incredible job. The soundtrack was very cool. I forgot to look. Do we know where they shot?
Yes, I did check. They shot in Spain.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Interesting.
Was neither the U.S. was neither Afghanistan, of course, because after
lots of good reasons not to film
the current administration surrendered and left technology and left human lives.
Yeah.
It was a big loss, which they claim as a victory because liars. But anyways,
nobody honest I think calls that a victory.
But
it was bad.
But yeah, besides the 13 soldiers that died holding the last stand at the airport, and anything they gave up all that. And run away, just like back in Saigon. And anyways, they shot in Spain, so you have this neutral sort of director with this he writes and directs his movies, and in a neutral place. They shot in a completely different distant place from America and in Afghanistan, which he could totally shoot here, even though some people wouldn't like. And that's the other thing about people not liking it. You're probably not gonna hear much about this movie. You're probably not gonna. There's not a lot of buzz about it. The movie just came out, and I think there was basically no trailers for it. We didn't see a trailer at the movies, did we?
I don't think we did. I think the first I heard about it was an ad on Instagram.
Yeah, and this guy Ritchie,
might even have been an ad.
He's a known director, a celebrated, a famous director, but it's not gonna make a buzz because it doesn't interest some groups of the media. But it's a terrific movie. It's one of those hidden gems, if you may, because again, you might not find or hear about it. And it's a good thing to have Guy Ritchie's second movie this year. Was it? That's it, right? Maybe third? No, second. Yeah, then there was that
Yeah.
one, Pas de Dieu. Not a
Yes.
Pas de Dieu.
Oh shoot.
Rudiger. Rudiger.
Yeah. Yeah.
Uh,
Okay.
in this one. And I think there's another one coming soon. And this
Yeah.
one is like Guy Ritchie at his best,
Yeah.
with a big gang of manly man doing manly things and cursing
Yeah.
and making stupid jokes.
Like low class London accent.
Yeah.
Whoa.
His production company, Tough Guy.
Tough guy.
Yeah, with Tough Guy.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's
Oh,
TOFF, Tough
Yeah.
Guy. Anyways, so there's more of him to come, but this one is definitely excellent. I think it shows. It not only have some of the classic American movie, the American hero, the Americans in a mission,
Yeah.
but also shows the Afghani side, on the human that Ahmed character is, and how he's suffering because of the Taliban. The same way we were there to fight the Taliban, and these people were fighting the Taliban when they could. When they couldn't, some would surrender, some would die. So it's it's not a country of enemies. There was a reason American troops were there, and when they left, as soon as they left, the movie said that as soon as the American troops left, a month, the Taliban took over. And there's actually reports there was like a week,
Yeah.
because
I think
they
it
were
was maybe a month for them to like officially take over the whole country, but
but yeah,
they
there
more or
were
less taken over within a week,
planes left under bullets and under attack. So and soldiers died. So it was definitely a terrible loss. But this movie honors every aspect of that just translate the interpreters and their families and the work they're trying to do, the people that they're suffering and do even little things to fight the Taliban, the American soldiers that give their life in service of this cause, and the American soldiers' families, which.
That's true. That's another aspect of this whole promise thing that we see. We see his wife has this great conversation with him where she talks about not as explicitly as other parts, but like who they promise to be for each other. And we see so there's all kinds of levels of promises we see happening in the movie. Really good. It's really good.
It's good. It's if I could totally see. But again, I was checking, highlighting. I was checking, doing some research about some details on the movie, and I checked the way some of the American critics, uber liberals with the woke mentality, all that crap we talk about it. They call the movie manipulative, which is it's like, come on, it's like sometimes critics open their mouths just to spell garbage. But anyways,
I mean, I could say that Guy Ritchie definitely, you could say that he had an agenda, which would be to point out how we completely failed all of those interpreters and all those Afghanis who
but that's exposing a truth. That's not manipulating.
A well-known fact.
Yeah.
And he just used his storytelling abilities to make us feel that, not just like see it as an abstract fact, but to make us like really feel how horrible that was.
Yeah, no, there's no manipulation. It's just exposing
a
truth, exposing a fact that he
tells a story that shows us like, here's what these men and women did for our countrymen, and then here's what we did to them.
Yeah.
Or rather, what we didn't do for them. And so
we were promised, and it didn't get anything, including Americans. The current administration left American citizens and people ready for the visas, and people with perspective of his. Anyways,
Mm-hmm.
it got bad, and the movie is it's only exposes, and it's fiction. It's
Mm-hmm.
not based on a true story, but at the credits they show pictures of real people, real American
Real
soldiers,
soldiers with their real
real
interpreters.
interpreters in their
Mm-hmm.
relationship, and
Yeah.
helping each other in many levels and making promises in many levels,
Mm-hmm.
and it was really good to see, even though it goes, it's fiction and it goes towards,
Mm-hmm.
again, the good American movies of the past where, one man go fight a war to save his friend, to save
Mm-hmm.
someone that saved him, so
Yeah.
to fulfill this covenant.
Mm.
Guy Ritchie's The Covenant. Covenant is available everywhere, even though, again, it's sort of being buried, shadow banned by
Yeah.
liberal media, by American liberals.
But it's
Anyways,
worth seeking out, so go do that.
oh yes, it's good. If you
Mm-hmm.
don't find on a movie theater near you, go to a far one. If you don't find on a far one,
Just stream it as soon
he's
as you
gonna
can.
stream. He's gonna stream soon.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep. All right. Guardians of the Galaxy. We talked about that
Oh,
last
there's
week.
just one quick thing
Oh. Uh
about
huh.
the Covenant. He's Vokes. I think Vokes, Brokes. I couldn't see the first letter on his badge, but
Oh,
his
Vokes.
Vokes.
Yeah.
His CEO was named Vokes. I was like, I know this guy. Where I know this guy from? And then I finally realized he's John Major on The Crown. Yeah, because
Oh.
he's older with glasses, but
Yeah.
it's the same guy.
Oh, interesting.
Who's British, I
Yeah.
assume, maybe not.
I,
But
who knows
in this
anymore?
movie had an accent. He was
Mm-hmm.
American.
Yeah.
But yeah, Homelander
Okay.
shows up too.
Yes.
Not the character, the
I
actor.
know.
What's his bucket? Anthony Starr.
Yeah.
It's almost Anthony Stark.
Mm-hmm.
Anyways,
That's great.
great movie. You should
Yeah.
check.
Yeah.
I think it's rated R.
I think it's our, if only for the number of f bombs that were dropped.
Yeah, but
It is pretty violent, but like you don't see a lot of like gore
yeah,
or anything. But yeah, there's definitely some violence, some thematic stuff, and a lot of language.
yeah, and it's
Mm-hmm.
in this the type of violence is not like gratuitous for fun. Is to tell reality, to tell a story.
Mm-hmm.
So maybe not for little kids, but
Mm-hmm.
teenagers wouldn't hurt.
Yeah.
But again, yeah.
Yeah. All right. Anything else about the Covenant?
No, I think that's it.
Okay. Then let's move on to some box office stuff. Guardians of the Galaxy had a pretty good start. 282 million was their global box office start.
Yes,
Mm-hmm.
but it was good, but it was, I mean, for any other movie, it would be spectacular.
Mm-hmm.
But and that's global. I think it was around the hundreds in the domestic American
Mm.
box office, which is showing indicators that yeah, the Marvel movies, the superhero movies are declining, especially Phase
Mm-hmm.
4. Even though this one was good, but it's showing signs of I don't know, maybe exhaustion or I guess disappointment for what came before. Even though the movie
Sure.
wasn't bad, again
It was. I really
again
loved it.
Ant-Man wasn't bad, but there's reports that it lost $125 million.
Jeez.
Yeah,
Oh
so
man.
there's problems, and we're gonna talk more about Disney and the crisis and the problems they're going through.
Mm-hmm.
But for now, Guardians did well. Let's see
Mm-hmm.
how it does on the second weekend,
Yeah.
because they all drop, but some drop so
Precipitously.
precipitously
Yeah.
that yeah.
Yeah.
Anyways,
Which has, I think that has a lot to do with the fan base, right? There are people who, it's a Marvel film, and there are people who are going to see every Marvel film the second it comes out. And then we see how good it was. Are people going back to see it? Is it getting good word of mouth, good recommendations, or are people saying, it wasn't worth it? And that's what we'll see over the next
yeah.
over the next couple
Also,
weeks.
there's the whole rating systems. People give too much importance
Mm-hmm.
to stuff like Rotten Tomatoes, which it basically helps kill the movie like right away. Because I'm not gonna watch this movie with this rating.
Yeah.
So to be honest, they should only. I guess they trying to help people go to the movies, but it's like if that guy liked, I might love it.
Yeah.
He might hate it. And we saw this like many times. Not to
Mm-hmm.
mention the Last Jedi that had the critics loved, the audiences hated.
Yeah.
Among so many others. But
Yeah. It
but yeah,
really
the
does
first
depend on the
but
source.
the first weekend it's a big
Mm-hmm.
measuring device for the industry, and the
Yeah.
first weekend was good, but not as good
Mm-hmm.
as uh, Marvel used to perform. But
Yeah.
anyways.
Okay. The Writers Guild of America strike continues, and so there's some updates about that. House of the Dragon is unaffected, so just relax. It's gonna be okay.
Yeah, I had a list here somewhere. I can't remember what it was.
Okay.
Of the productions that will be affected. But for
Mm-hmm.
sure, Stranger Things will gonna be affected.
Mm-hmm. So it's on pause, and Marvel Studios has had to delay Blade.
Which I call BS. Because Blade has been in crisis
Mm-hmm.
for months now, way before the strike. They lost the director,
Mm-hmm.
they had to rewrite, they stopped production, and there was
That's
conflict on the
right.
set. From time to time that happens,
Uh-huh.
and Disney has like a very good damage control. So on Star Wars side, we heard of things like that too,
Mm-hmm.
and this one seems to be the case. And the guy's a really good actor, and it seems to be, how can I say, he's a serious actor. I don't think he's like on a comic book superhero movie. It was an unusual, not he's bad, but it was a surprising cast. And but so far there's this whole massive plate. So it was canceled because it was because of the strike.
Yeah, it's
Whatever.
I game recognizes game. There were a few times, one semester in college, towards the end of the semester, I ended up with a stomach ulcer. I was already behind on a lot of assignments, and so I ended up emailing some professors like, "Hey, I have an ulcer," which is definitely the reason why I'm struggling in this class.
Yeah.
And it worked out. It worked out.
Yeah.
There was some leniency. I was able to catch up on stuff. I graduated. Everything's fine now. But I'm just saying, I've been there. I get it.
Yeah.
Okay. While we're still talking about Disney and writing, it's confirmed that first of all, that Ahsoka, the Disney Plus series, is going to have 8 episodes, about 60 minutes each. And who wrote all of them?
Dave Filoni himself, the creator of the character, the creator
Mm-hmm.
of a part of that corner of the Star Wars universe, and it's only fair.
Yeah.
I hope he directs it too.
Mm.
Because Disney, especially on the shows, they putting they following the checklist. They putting man, woman of color, man of color.
Mm-hmm. Aliens of color.
Yes.
Male aliens, female aliens.
So and a lot of new people. I mean, besides Bryce Dallas Howard, even though I think she's new directing.
Mm-hmm.
So, but it's like none of the established directors, none of movie directors, and even for the new movies, they announced a bunch of new directors. So I hope he directs it too, because the source material to what he's writing, and then comes the director. It's a subject to Kathleen Kennedy. He might show his loyalty and say, "Oh, let's change this, let's change this," because I'm all toward because Kathleen Kennedy told him to. Anyways, but it's a good news. Dave Filoni is gonna write all the episodes.
If you had to place a bet right now, what do you think are the odds that there will be yet another Order 66 flashback? Me, I'm gonna say pretty high.
I don't know. It's pretty far in the future. It's post.
Well,
it's post the Galactic Civil War. So the it's like the new Rise of the Empire through Thrawn and all that, the Katana Fleet.
Sure,
Uh,
sure.
it's
But our man
it's
Filoni
ancient
has a
history.
track record. He has
That's
a track
true.
record of being like, hey, remember that really sad thing that happened that was like super traumatic even though it's fictional? Let's revisit
Yeah,
that.
because with Ahsoka we experienced the Order 66
That's
already.
true. That's true. But now we
So
can revisit it in live
and it's about the
action.
Jedi. So with the other characters, the rebels, I mean, Kenan is dead. I mean, unless it's a
Mm-hmm.
flashback with Kenan, which they already did in the
Yeah.
animations. But yeah, we'll see. I mean, if it
We'll see.
happens, it happens.
It's a bit of a
It's only a testament on how Revenge of the Sith is good. You know,
yeah.
that's so tragic and so sad. Uh, yeah.
You feel it. Okay, but not all is well at the House of Mouse. Their shares have slumped 8.5%.
8 point. It's like big. I think it's
Yeah,
like the worst since the establishment of Nasdaq. I didn't put anything like that. Right?
you did
Yeah,
not,
but it's
but
big,
it's not good.
and they're already going to crisis in
Mm-hmm.
the fight with state governments and the choose the choice of content and woke stuff they've been doing.
Mm.
They losing audience. They losing on streaming.
Mm-hmm.
And I did put something about losing streaming, right?
Yeah, 4 million subscribers
They
lost.
lost 4 million, and it's
It's not
it's
good.
their own making. It's not like people, even though it's a moment of a national crisis, the inflation, the economy is in shambles, and but it's not because of that. That might affect
Mm-hmm.
too, but it's their own making because they're going
Yeah.
against the principles that they created.
Mm.
Walt Disney created back uh, uh, in the day, and going against all that, they losing audiences, they losing money, and then comes this strike. They're gonna hurt the industry as a total,
Mm-hmm.
and they announced layoffs and they laying off a lot. And there's more sad, bad news for Disney.
Mm-hmm.
They gonna remove content of the platform,
Yeah.
because for audiences it's simple. You click and watch, but that's stored, servers.
Yeah.
It's an electronic space, and like real space, it costs. So they're gonna have to take stuff, and
Mm-hmm.
also they're gonna produce lower volumes. They're gonna produce less, and they already announced this a while ago that gonna be
Mm-hmm.
less series, less original content. Uh, you know,
That part might not be such a bad thing for us as audiences. I personally have felt like Disney's gone for a quantity over quality approach for the last few years. It's led to a lot of fatigue. I think it's maybe part of why the Marvel movies aren't doing so well. Like, there's been so much Marvel content. And, like, maybe if they just settle back, make a little bit of good stuff instead of a lot of mediocre stuff, like, that's not
yeah,
the worst thing in the world.
and also, if anything, doing Marvel stuff, or even Disney stuff in general, because
Mm-hmm.
it's always successful, and it's almost like bulletproof.
Mm.
They could give us something different on those universes,
Mm.
and not only like jokes and fun. Oh, tragedy, jokes and fun, and the hero punched the villain and post credit. The cake formula, the cake recipe that they've been doing forever in the MCU, for instance.
Mm-hmm.
They could, a horror movie. They could give us I don't know, some thriller,
Mm-hmm.
some very dramatic, something different. People would go see and people go will
Mm.
watch for sure. Uh, Instead of experimenting on that, giving more of the universe, but different styles and genres of content, they trying to stick politics and giving the same content.
Yeah,
So people are tired of the same content, and people don't want politics there. So it's a recipe of disaster,
it is.
and it's showing.
Yeah, Disney's been pretty. There's a lot of tokenism, and
What was
it's
that?
not
What
good.
was I think was Morbius. Morbius was
Ugh,
awful, but
that was
people
not a
love
good
it.
movie.
But Morbius, uh, there's a new movie coming. What was a movie about a haunted ship? We saw the trailer last week.
Yes.
What was it called? What was it about?
Oh shoot.
Anyways,
It looked so interesting. Anyway.
but it's there's a ghost in the ship, something like that, right?
Yeah, no, it's Dracula.
Dracula, that's right.
Yeah.
It's Dracula, and I don't know if that movie will do that. But Morbius could do very similar if the movie is doing it. We're not sure, didn't see it yet. Is the entire movie. So the monster, the vampire, whatever, leaves the place where he is and goes somewhere else. He could do the entire movie inside of the ship.
Yeah.
You know, mystery, hunting, screaming. It's like Alien, the original Alien.
Yeah.
It's about the journey, and they have the enemy there. You know, it's traveling with the threat.
Yeah, and it's such a great plot device. Some of the best episodes of Doctor Who are like they do this on Star Trek, all kinds of places where this idea of being trapped in a small space with a monster.
Yeah.
Like it's
Star Trek did that a lot too.
Yeah, they do a lot of episodes. Star Trek, Doctor Who, Alien. There's a couple of Hitchcock movies. Rear Window is I mean, it's not exactly the same, but Dial M for Murder, these ideas where you have a very small set, but something big and terrifying is happening, and you're just trapped there. Like, oh man,
there's that one about
good recipe.
About the party. I don't know the name in English. But do you see that one? Is a party. It's inside of apartment all the time, and they claim it was like one long shot. You actually see cuts. It's like, and he does a very interesting way of cuts. It's like the camera goes, someone walks in front of the camera, or you see zoom in the back of it. So there's clever ways to cut, but it's the entire movie is in the is a party, and I don't want to spoil, but there's something so bizarre. There's there all the time. And people only find out at the end. We should see that movie.
Hunt for Red October.
That's true. Submarine movies. Yeah.
Yeah. And
Hunt is Crimson Tide, with Denzel Washington and Gene Hackman.
Yes.
Yeah, Crimson Tide.
What was that one with Tom Hanks and they're on the boat? They're on the ship.
Oh, the Apple one, right? Oh, I can't remember. Storm. Yeah. But yeah, there's always that. But Crimson Tide is very interesting because
so many good movies
the story is they there and they don't know. They think the war is like World War III started, and it did. You saw that one? You don't remember?
I can't remember.
Yeah. So there's this conflict between captain and second in command because he wants to attack because war started. Yes. It's like, don't do it. We don't know. We need confirmation. So you know, it's out there. You don't have to. In movies like Morbius, it's like was the ship. It could be one movie, and then it was before the ship. It could be another movie, and then there was after the ship. He's like flying and he's feeling dancing and. Yeah, but people really got crazy with the post-credit scene, which is always funny when the post-credit scene means nothing. Yeah. Anyways, but all this was to talk about. We were talking about Disney and the formulaic system that is failing, and they're gonna layoffs and they're gonna cut costs. One other measure that seems to be to cut costs is Disney and Hulu gonna be combined in one platform, in one app.
Still, from what I read, it's still two different subscriptions.
Is it?
But it's one app.
Okay. But in January next year, January 2024, Comcast has the according to their contract, they have the option to buy the rest that Disney have, or vice versa. So Bob Iger said, "It's like, it's up to Comcast." So we'll see what happens.
With this combining the two services onto one app, we have an opportunity to call the app Who Dis. It is unlikely that this will happen.
Oh, Dishu.
I can't.
Dishu.
Yes, Dish.
Dishu.
Dishu. Anyway. Desilu. Get it.
And well, they would have to pay the rights.
They
don't own Lucy.
They don't. Anyway.
Yet.
Okay. That's not the only losses. Apparently, The Late Show with James Corden was suffering like huge losses.
Yeah, up to $20 million a year. Which
is many dollars.
Yeah, there's a lot. So it's actually a miracle that he survived a year after they found out that
Yeah.
he lost $20 million the
Yeah.
previous year. So he not only died, but his show died too. So it was completely erased from the spot, and they're gonna try something else now.
Mhm.
But talking about James Corden, he's a
Mhm.
subject. He's British, and this week, Britain got a new king.
Yeah, first time in 70 years
Yeah,
there's been a coronation.
which
So,
which
good for them.
she? How old was she? 90?
Oh, shoot.
Because she's
I think
70.
it's just before her 96th birthday.
Okay.
I think she passed just before 96.
Yeah, and because she
Yeah.
lived so long, he's not young, so we might not have to
Mhm.
wait 70 years to see another coronation.
It is unlikely, but this one is a
Yeah.
fantastic show of pomp and circumstance, and I really enjoy other people's monarchies. It was very fun to watch, knowing that I don't have to worry about any of that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Solidarity,
good history, good
solidarity to
music.
the Brits. They have to pay for
Yeah.
all that pompous and circumstance.
Yep.
You know, I give you the what they call the little stick.
Scepter.
The scepter of Wales, the scepter of the British Islands.
No. There's justice, order, and peace. There's a sword.
There's not,
And
I
an
thought it was more
orb.
than one scepter. It's only
Oh
one.
yeah.
Yeah.
I'm saying that it's not. They're not representing different countries. They're representing different aspects of monarchy.
Oh, a scepter of peace, a scepter of justice, a scepter of American way. Oh no, sorry. And someone told me he got spurs.
Yes. He
Spurs.
didn't actually wear them, but there is a spur.
Sure, but it's like
There's spurs, swords,
such
the
an American in my
rod,
head.
the orb, and a ring.
Drew them all.
Yes.
I guess it's probably older there, but Spurs is such an American thing. It just reminds me of cowboy in the West.
Knights wore spurs.
They did. Oh, I didn't know that. Okay.
Yeah, and then there's a whole bunch of symbolic stuff with that,
Okay.
which we could definitely get into.
Yeah.
But maybe.
But yeah,
not right
so Britain has a new king,
Yep.
and Katy Perry and Lionel Richie, and I found out there was something to do with the voice because they all in the voice. Lionel, Katy Perry, I think they were doing special voice there, whatever. But they were there celebrating the new king with all the dramas and family that feels like. Anyways,
Yeah.
no, I'm not gonna touch that.
No, we don't need to worry about that. All right, Steven Spielberg. So a little while ago, E.T. was edited. There's a scene where there's a bunch of cops and they have guns, and Spielberg and others went through and edited that so that they're holding like walkie-talkies or something.
Yes.
Yeah.
And he recently he on talking to the public, he announced he commented that he regrets doing that, and he shouldn't, and nobody should. That the movie is a piece, is a what they call
A product of its
product of its time, of its era. And you don't go in I don't know if whitewash is shame wash or whatever. You don't change according to the morals you have codes with the pseudo morals you have now, because even those might change from now to 5, 10, 50 years in the future. So the movie was made as a product of the era and shouldn't change, and he regrets it.
Yeah.
And validating a lot of people that kind of like thought it was ridiculous. It was a dumb idea because
like they're supposed to be bad guys. We're not talking about like the heroes of the film doing something that we now recognize as morally reprehensible. Like those people were supposed to represent, inappropriate use of power and all of that. Like it really made sense for them to have guns and for us to be like, whoa now.
Yeah. And the forces of authorities and forces of police that they don't show with walkie-talkies, unless they're in England, because those don't have guns. But anyways, but so just a quick bit about the Spielberg to recognize
he's not the only one with regrets about his career. Adam Driver apparently wants us to just like forget that he was ever Kylo Ren.
Oh yes. I wonder why. Because they're such good movies, right? Nope.
Yeah. Although honestly, like in the first one, he was scary and I liked him, and in the last one, like he was emotionally. I think he did a really good job.
It's all over the place.
Well,
Killing his father, and then killing his mother, and then Ray, look at me shirtless. I'm hot.
no, that was the second one.
You wanna be hot with
the
me?
shirtless situation.
Yeah.
I'm saying in the last one, the first one and the last one.
Oh, I see what you mean.
In the second one, he threw a snit and took his shirt off and threw some more snits.
But it was such a roller coaster. So she was made to be hated on the first one, and then
No, he was made to be feared.
yeah, sure, and hated. Nobody
Oh, sure.
liked. I mean, I guess people like villains. So, and then on the second one, he was made to be too sexy for his shirt. But then on the second one, people were shipping him, and I mean, I guess because of the second one. On the third one, we were shipping him to the point that his end, he even does his like things like his father, with his arms. They were trying to make him likable. It was like, yeah, I don't know. I have nothing against him. I think he's a great actor.
He's a phenomenal actor.
I think Kylo Ren wasn't bad. The direction they took on him, like the direction they took on a lot on The Last Jedi, which is a disaster, was the problem. But he's like, nope, forget about it.
Yeah.
Go watch any other movie I made. I made several good ones.
He did. He's a very good actor. All right. Other movie news: Beetlejuice 2 is coming. It is happening. I think Jenna Ortega has been cast.
Yes.
So she's Tim Burton's new.
And
favorite.
he's involved, and they work together on Wanda. What's it called?
Wednesday.
Why I said Wanda?
I don't know.
In fact, Wednesday in Portuguese is Wanda. Yeah, that's how they translated her name. Because
the character. I was like, that's not how you say the days of the week, though.
Yeah, no.
You meant the character.
It's because it'll be quarta-feira. Like,
yeah,
that's odd.
Yep.
So Vandinha, so it's Wanda.
Okay.
Vandinha.
I like that.
Wanda Adams. Anyways, so yeah, hopefully Keaton will be back, because if there's no Keaton,
I think he's supposed to be.
There's no Beetlejuice.
From what I heard, he's announced.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
So that's coming next year.
Because all the way to call Beetlejuice is say Michael Keaton name three times. Yeah.
Another sequel coming is Lord of War.
Yes, the movie talking about failures of the President Biden in the current administration that gave up the Lord of War, the Merchant of Death, for a basketball player. There's a movie with Nicolas Cage about that guy. Inspired by that guy. Technically, they use different a couple
like
different.
It's very fictionalized, but yeah, he's an amalgamation
of arms dealers. So they're coming with a sequel. Nicolas Cage is gonna come back with what's bucket? Alexander Skarsgård.
Bill. Skarsgård. You've written Bill.
Okay, so it's Bill.
Okay.
Yeah.
Cool. Okay, MTV Awards happened, and they're a little different. From the rest of the award circuit. Best movie went
First of all, who watches MTV still, right?
I don't know. Well, this is expressive. This best movie went to Scream 6.
Oh.
So there's that. Best show went to Last of Us. Austin Butler and Jenna Ortega won best performances. Adam Sandler won comedic performance.
Wait, he won for a movie and she won for a show.
Yes.
Or there's that's performance period or
movie show.
Movie show is one category.
Austin Butler won for a movie.
She won for a movie.
Jenna
She won
Ortega
for a show.
won for a show.
Okay.
Adam Sandler won for best comedic performance.
Okay. For what?
For a murder mystery too.
Oh, okay, of course.
Yeah. Let's see. Best kiss.
But that movie was this year. When is that?
I don't know
when is
how
that
they
window?
these.
Anyways,
I don't know. There's not a lot of like brain cells allotted to MTV. It's not really my thing. Let's see. Best show went to The Last of Us. Oh, I already said that. Best hero went to Pedro Pascal in The Last of Us.
Really? I mean, he should get for Mandalorian.
That's what I thought, but I'll settle for this.
Huh.
Best villain went to Elizabeth Olsen in Multiverse of Madness. Best Kiss went to The Outer Banks. Most Frightened Performance went to Jennifer Coolidge for White Lotus. And the best, pardon my French, kick-ass cast went to Stranger Things.
Okay.
So those are the highlights.
Okay.
Some fun categories. An interesting way of allotting them.
How would I say kick-ass in French? Kick and ass. So it would be. Oh, but.
Yeah,
You know,
that's what I'm
derrière.
trying to remember. Yeah.
Shooter derrière.
Yeah, something like that.
Okay. Moving on.
Yeah, they didn't cover it in my medieval French literature course. So.
Oh, there was a lot of kick-ass back in the medieval times.
Yeah, there was. Oh, man. Okay. Cancellations. Let's go through these real quick. Cancellations and announcements for TV shows. Fantasy Island is over. So
After 2 seasons. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Tommy Cat after 3 seasons.
Mm-hmm. CBS has ordered a Matlock reboot starring Kathy Bates.
Okay. I don't know the show. My reference to the show is the jokes they made to Joe Biden that says he's too old. He just stay in the basement eating ice cream and watch Matlock. But I have no idea what the show is.
Andy Griffith played a defense attorney named Matlock, so it was like a crime law procedural.
Oh, it's like Perry Mason.
I guess I never saw Perry Mason. But yeah, it was a procedural, but he was like, charming and southern and clever and all that.
No, it's a
Anyway.
woman. Kathy Bates. There was a southern woman on The Office.
Is this what Joe does after she
I don't know if she's going to do that accent. Maybe she's going to try a different South.
Yeah, we'll find out. There's also a Good Wife spinoff coming. Walker Independence was canceled at the CW.
Yeah, it's a prequel show.
Mm-hmm. But Walker was renewed for another season.
Yes, for season 4.
Yeah. So I guess the spinoff didn't work. Mrs. Oh yeah, what's going on with Mrs. Davis?
Mrs. Davis, they switched the category for Emmy consideration to limited series, which means it's usually one and done. But the producer says that season 2 is not off the table. And what was the other show that did that? Oh crap! I was just reading about that. There was a show that just did that and had the second season, but we're gonna move on because I can't remember.
Yeah, Real Housewives of Miami is coming back to Bravo. Great. Okay. Minx got a season 2 at HBO. No, at Starz.
Despite HBO cancellation, it was canceled at HBO, but it got a new home at Starz.
Mm-hmm. The Jack Ryan.
Which is rare, actually, our HBO show being canceled and being resurrected. Yeah, but, well.
Oh. The Amazon Prime Jack Ryan series is getting a season 4.
Yes, it's coming this summer.
Mm-hmm. Ted Lasso is doing really, really well. Even though the season, I don't think, really holds up as well to the first couple. It's doing fantastic. It's at the top of the most streamed list. The first Apple TV Plus show this year to do that. So
yep.
Way to go.
CBS canceled Freshman True Lies in East New York.
Okay. And SWAT had been canceled, but now that's reversed.
No. Just kidding. They're going to have one last season.
Yep.
I don't know what they did, but yeah. They survived.
But it's nice to have a season to wrap things up.
Yeah.
That's good. Yellowstone is ending with season 5, but there's a sequel series coming in December. So.
Yes. The sequel series with Matthew McConaughey. But one thing about Yellowstone season 5, the last season, is that Kevin Costner, he wants to approve how he's written off the show.
Oh.
Dead?
Yeah.
Who knows? We'll see.
Both Animal Control and Next Level Chef got new renewals at Fox.
Yeah.
Both are very fun shows.
Next Level Chef got 2 more seasons at least, while Animal Control got 1 more season coming.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I'm really liking Animal Control.
It plays with it has the office strengths.
Yeah.
And then they go deal with animals, which I guess is fun. But the cast is really good.
Yeah, and they're good together.
The cast of people, the cast of animals, who cares? They're props. Anyways.
Last but not least, have you ever sat on an airplane and thought, gee, I wish this flight was longer?
Yeah, no. I wish I could sleep. I never could sleep.
Really?
Can't sleep on the plane. Yeah.
Oh, man.
I mean, there was a time there was. Uh, it's like when you finally fall asleep and it's time to wake up.
Mm.
Yeah. But
Sorry.
your problems are over. Is that how they say? On
Uh-huh.
those infomercials, like your
Oh, yeah.
problems are over.
Yes. Worry no more.
Yeah. There's the newest longest flight in the planet Earth. Totals 20 hours long.
That's right.
It covers a distance of 10,576 miles. And is from Qantas, an Australian airline. It goes from Sydney to London in quick 20 hours. If anything, it's
So long.
it's one and done, right?
Yeah, I guess so.
You don't have to wait.
Yeah.
Or
you don't have to worry about like catching a layover or anything. So I
yeah.
guess that's good.
And
But, oh my
waiting
gosh.
in the airport, sleeping, losing your flight,
I recently spent over 24 hours in an airport, and largely due to my own fault and the complete lack of customer service provided by Frontier. Just, oh my gosh, it was such a difficult experience. So being stuck on an airplane for 20 hours, like, that would get to you. Especially, like, can you imagine if anything goes wrong with the bathroom? Or, like, anyway, that would be a tough flight. So good luck to all of you trying that.
Anyways, anything else?
No, that's all I got.
Did you have all of it?
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
Okay. Well, that's it for this week. We come back next week with more pop culture news and entertainment. May the force be with you.
Live long and prosper.
Bye.
Bye.